wheel kitties. I removed motors out of both wheels. I removed the motor from the front and the back. And I cannot find any faults with them whatsoever. So that narrows it down to either a bad throttle or a bad controller. Which the cheaper of the two is the throttle. I tested the Hall sensors. They're all good, front and back. I'm going to show you the motors in a second. There is one discrepancy I've found with the rear motor. I'll show you guys. Okay, those are both motors. This is the front motor. This is the front one. This is the back one. Now, the only thing different with the back motor is this little brass spacer. Okay, this part of the shaft goes in there. So that little brass spacer, guys, hold on, let me pause you guys here. Okay, that little brass spacer goes, it'll rest on this. Now, the motors are identical. You could, I'm pretty sure, the only difference with the motors are identical, but the back cord's longer than the front one. So you can't switch motors because the cords are long. Also, if you do take your motors apart, there's where is that? There's kind of like a section of black heat shrink. You're gonna have to cut that off. And then this spring here, you're gonna have to move the spring all the way to the top, or you're never gonna get this off. And it comes off quite easy. But that's the only difference between the back motor is it has that little brass spacer. Now, the front motor also has a brass spacer, but it's on the inside. See that little brass spacer right there? Where the back one doesn't have that. Doesn't have it. So I'm going to remove that brass spacer that's on the inside of the back motor. That little brass spacer there, I'm removing that. And the reason why is because the back motor is what's been giving me the problems. You know, I still think the back motor is connected, even if you have the front one turned off, I think the back motor is connected to the front one as well. They share a signal. So if something happens with the back motor, it completely cuts power to the whole system. Now, that could that little washer be the culprit of the whole thing? I mean, you know, all that would really do, because the motor, here, let me bring a tire up here. The motor will sit in here. Then the part of the motor where the Hall sensor is, it's out here. And then this closes on this. So, I mean, that little brass spacer, guys, that little brass spacer, it's, I mean, the thing is maybe, what, maybe a millimeter, maybe 2 millimeters in thickness. You know, I can't see how that would be the fault of what's going on. You know, I know what you guys are saying. It was installed in the motor, so I should leave it. It's apparently it's there for a reason. Okay. Now I'm going to test the Hall sensors. I'm going to show you guys if there's nothing wrong with the Hall sensors. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to buy a thumb throttle that could connect one of those ports on the front there, and I'm going to buy an aftermarket thumb throttle. And if that's all the problem was, I'll change both my grips. You know, I'll do away with the throttle grip, and I'll just have a thumb throttle. In a way, I think I like a thumb throttle better. But if it's a throttle, that's what my plans are. So that's my next step to get a thumb throttle. We're going to try the throttle out. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's the culprit. All right, let me switch this around, and I'll test the motors with you guys. All right. Now we're going to put the black on the first Hall. This is the first Hall sensor over here. We're going to put the black on the negative, and the positive is on the center solder. It's reading like 7.40. I have this on a diode setting also. Okay, now here's the second Hall sensor up here. Guys, this is so hard without no light in here. There, I can't see nothing. All right, I can see what I'm doing now. That one works. Final one's the third one. There's 3 Hall sensors. Okay, they're all good. I also tested them all in conjunction with each other. They're all connected. And we'll do the black on the negative. Okay, that works. That works. Can't see a blessed thing, guys. All right, we're doing the first one connected to the second one. Now the first one connected to the third one. Okay. That's the back motor, so there's nothing wrong with the motor whatsoever. Now my tester is going to come in for the motor. I'm going to still test the motor with that box. You know, when you move the motor around, all 3 lights should light. All right, let's do the front one now. All right, guys, this is a different multimeter. All right, we're going to start with the first Hall sensor. Second one. They're all reading around 700. Third one. Now this is the rear motor I'm doing. So, okay, the first hall sensor positive, or a first hall sensor negative to the second one positive. First to the last one positive. I can't even read this. Let me see what the heck this thing's doing. I thought it was reading all zeros. Okay, now we are going to use the other multimeter. That was a 12. That was like a $12 multimeter I just used. This is a little better of a one. I'm going to do the first hall sensor negative to the last one positive. Was that 724? 753. Now we'll do the first hall sensor, negative and positive. Second one. And this is the rear motor I'm doing, by the way. Let me do the second hall sensor to the third one. So I'm putting the black on the negative on the second, and on the third hall sensor, I'm putting the red on positive. See? The motor's good, guys. I've already done this, so they're going to come out okay. There's nothing wrong with none of these. I can't see a blessed thing in here. You know what, guys? Let me see if I can hook up a light here. I cannot see in here, man. Oh, you son of a... I swear this place is cursed. You ever think out about where you live, guys? There's a curse on where you live? That's what I think here. All right, let's try this again. Now at least I can see what the heck I'm doing. All right, so that one's okay. And then last but not least, look, I'm getting grease all over myself here. That one's the same thing. They're all 7.39, 7.40. They're all the same. Now, my multimeter, that's where my multimeter, I just wanted to show you guys where the multimeter's set on. I have 3 multimeters. This is the better of the 3. So, yeah, that's what that looks like inside. That's your Hall sensor board. Some guys have claimed that the Romeo 2 Pro, the motors don't have Hall sensors. Well, you see it with your own eyes. They have 1, 2, 3. I could actually count up to 3. They have 3 Hall sensors. See? 1, 2, and 3. There's 3 of them. So there's nothing wrong with the motors. Thank God. But I'm still not done. We're still not 100% sure that box, that little square box that has all the lights on it, like it come out of a Star Trek movie, that's supposed to come in tomorrow. And we're supposed to be able to hook this up to it somehow. And then you rotate the motor. After you turn the box on, you rotate the motor, and the 3 lights are supposed to, like that. They're supposed to go 1, 2, 3, 3 to 1, and so on as you move the motor. If they work, then the motors pass. They're good. So, what we're doing is we're narrowing this down. That's what you guys are doing with me. We're narrowing the problem down. It has to be either the controller or the throttle. The cheaper of the 2. If the motors test out, what you do, once you test your motors are cool, you put the bike back together, the bike's still doing the problems, then you have narrowed it down to 2 things, either the controller or the throttle. And what you do is you replace the throttle because that's the cheaper. You can get a throttle for these e-bikes for like $15. You replace the throttle. I have read about these throttles going amongst controllers and a lot of this. One guy told me it's a keyed washer. What keyed washer? Well, none of those little washers. I have them all over the place. None of those little washers are bad. They're all good. So, okay, guys, we're going to have to let this rest. I'm not going to produce the video until the box comes in because I want to do that all in one video. So, all right. I hope everyone there is dealing with the heat. My Husky's having a hard time with the heat. We have their air conditioner on. We also have a fan for her. She has her own fan. As a matter of fact, she's laid in front of the fan for the past 2 days. Yeah, she has, and we also give her ice water too. What I do is I have a dog dish for her in the freezer filled with water, and that turns into like one great big ice cube. And we put that in her water. We clean her water. I change her water 2 times a day. Because there's always hair going in it. So, you wouldn't want to drink water with hair in it, right? Well, neither does the dog. Neither does my Husky. So I clean that out. I drop the big ice cube in there and I fill that up with water. And that melts. That melts like in 10 minutes. But at least she can have a drink of ice cold water. And then before we go to sleep, I'll change that again, and I'll put ice in it. And I'll put that thing back in the freezer, and it'll develop another big ice cube for the next day. I also have water in the refrigerator for her also. Matter of fact, the water I have for her in the refrigerator it's boiled. I boil the water, then I freeze it. What we're going to start doing is I'm going to buy a water filter. I'm going to buy a whole house water filter. And that'll intercept the main line going into the house. We'll go on to our water system. And that's what I'm going to start doing. I'm going to install a whole house water filter here. So, okay, guys. Yeah, but as for the heat, man, it's been like 97 here, maybe even 100. That's how hot it is. It's like 100 degrees here. You know, when it's hot like this, I'm not taking my husky for a walk. First of all, I'll probably get stopped by the police. You know, but first and foremost, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that to any animal of mine. I hope no one else is either. So let's show you guys the motors one more time. Okay, this is the back one, guys. And that's the front one. Or no, excuse me, that's the back one. That has the that little washer on there. I did mark them, so I don't get these confused. Yeah, see, there it is right there. Front and back. See the H1, H2, H3, those are the Hall sensors. Now you can pop off the, you can pop this off. I think I'm going to do that because I want to see if there might be silicone covering the sensors. Okay, guys, I am going to give you the video. First and lastly, I want to show you how I took these wheels off the bike. That's the best way, guys, and only way. You got to turn the thing upside down, man. Otherwise, you are going to have one heck of a wrestling match. Also, with this bike here, what I had to do too, when I assembled it for the first time and I put the front wheel on, it was very hard to put on. So what I did is I filed down the insides of these forks here. And it slips on and off real easy. Now you can see all the aluminum dust on there. So it goes on and off a lot easier now. Hey guys, look at these saddlebags, man. I just bought the one on the right. This one here is all leather. It's actually it's a quality made little bag. It even comes with a strap. Yeah, I saw that one on eBay. That one there, you know, that's a doll's kill. I put this leather on the front. You know, that's aluminum. I did that. I painted that on. But we're gonna put those on both sides of the chopper. Those are gonna be my saddlebags. And I think the smaller one will go on the pipe side And that'll go on the left side. "4:38 a.m. guys. I'm going to show you where Keith is right now. We got our hood fan on, sucking the hot air out. You okay? Nice and cool out here for her. All right, honey. I got to give, she's shedding like crazy now too. I got to give her another brushing tomorrow. Guys, I'm going to do this one more time. The reason why this, when I was doing the Hall sensor 1 to the Hall sensor 3, this read all zeros is because my hands aren't very steady. So we're going to attach the negative to Hall sensor 1 negative and the positive to Hall sensor 3 positive. See, I can't keep it on there. There you go. I just wanted to do that over. That way there you guys won't think that I'm missing the triple zeros on there. As you see, it held the, what was that, 702, or I couldn't make it out at an angle. It was holding on the 7th something something. So I don't think there's anything wrong with the Hall sensors.